Thank you, Wendell. Good evening, and we begin tonight's regional news by telling you that the University of the West Indies said it has removed $500 Trinidadian amenities fees and has introduced an expanded payment plan to help students during the pandemic. In a statement issued on September 1, the UWI said that Professor Brian Copeland, Pro Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal, announced the commitment to help UWI St. Augustine students navigate the current reality in an internal note to all students. These commitments include the removal of $500 Trinidadian student amenities fees for this academic year, as well as an expanded student payment plan. The expanded plan will allow students of all countries, not just the UWI's contributing territories, to pay tuition fees in 3 installments. The UWI said the decisions came out of a series of virtual student engagements last week, which included a meeting with the Guild of Students in August 23 and town hall meetings with regional, international, and exchange students in August 24, and another with all students in August 27. Additionally, the communique stated that teaching will now begin on Monday, September 14, a one-week adjustment to the initial start date of September 7 to allow for a smooth transition for all new and continuing students. Turning to some news out of Trinidad and Tobago, Minister of Health Terence D.L. Singh announced on Monday that the government, in partnership with the Pan American Health Organization (PAHO), have purchased 160,000 rapid test antigen test kits as it decentralizes its testing strategy. At the Ministry of Health's COVID-19 virtual press conference, D.L. Singh said that the government was working with PAHO over the past 2 weeks to get the tests. D.L. Singh assured that the new approach will be a game changer. Initially, when the discussion of antigen testing was raised about 2 to 3 months ago, D.L. Singh said that at the time the antigen testing was not available and very accurate. The new rapid antigen test kits cost $6 for one and will be an investment of $960,000 for Trinidad and Tobago. The test identifies who are currently infected with coronavirus. It may be used as a quick test to detect active infections. Initially, it will not be used to diagnose the disease, but will be used to screen people or identify those who need a more definitive test. Antigen tests could identify the virus in nose and throat secretions by looking for proteins from the virus, as opposed to the diagnostic test, which looks for genetic material. Let's turn our attention to Brazil. Brazil has announced that they will become one of the few nations to pay their women's and men's football teams equally. Brazil's female players, such as Marta, will be paid the same as Neymar, Gabriel, Jesus, and others. Brazil joins Australia, Norway, and New Zealand among other nations who pay their men and women in the same amount. It will be applied to the teams participating in the Olympics next year, as well as the next World Cup tournaments. Last year, current Women's World Championships, the United States sued their federation alleging discrimination over pay and conditions. The team appealed earlier this year after a judge dismissed their case. The World Cup winning team's long-running feud with U.S. Soccer has been a public and bitter battle, and the players had been seeking $66 million in damages under the Equal Pay Act. Now for a final story coming out of Barbados. Minister of Health and Wellness Jeffrey Bostic announced on Monday that Barbados has established an embassy in Ghana and the opening is scheduled for October. The announcement came at a luncheon hosted by the Queen Elizabeth Hospital to welcome 49 Ghanaian nurses at the institution. The nurses are part of a 95-member contingent on a 2-year assignment in Barbados to help bolster the island's nursing complement. Their specialties include pediatrics, ophthalmology, surgical intensive care, and accident and emergency. Acknowledging the cultural and historical bonds between Barbados and the African continent, the minister shared that there were further plans to establish another embassy in Nairobi, Kenya. Well, that has brought us to the end of tonight's regional news. Thank you for watching, and back to you, Wendell.